Hello everybody, this is Ryan Murphy with another puzzle challenge video from chessuniversity.com. This is our second of the intermediate puzzles for the week, and then tomorrow we'll move on to the more difficult puzzles in the weekend. But for the position in front of us, it's black to move, and there are actually two moves which are pretty much winning for black, so I guess either of those will be accepted as solutions. And in the solution post, I think I mentioned both of those moves. But if you think you see a winning move here for black, make sure you post. You can obviously always post in the YouTube comments if you want to. It's up to you. You can interact with other people there. But the post that we're counting for rewards points on the website, you can find in the link in the description. So check that one out. But here we have a game that was played between Gotepi and Hakobian on chess.com server during a live Blitz tournament. And yeah, it's only move 16 of this game, so it actually won't take us very long to go through the opening that led to this position. But yeah, black obviously has a very promising position, not just because of the strong knight on e5 and the blockaded center against white's two kind of hemmed in bishops, but also because of the tactical problems that white's facing here. So let's quickly rewind and talk about how we got here. So the game began with d4, knight f6, c4, e6, so hoping for some kind of Nimzo. It's a nice move order. Knight c3, bishop b4. So we have a Nimzo Indian, e3, c5. These are all very normal moves. Bishop d3. Takes, and now black gets the structure that they're usually hoping for in the Nimzo with the doubled c-pawns, and black's really hoping that the center gets locked up like we saw in our initial position so that their knights can get extra squares, and in general, because black gave up a dark square bishop, they're looking to put their pawns on the dark squares to compensate for the missing control over that complex of squares. So usually you'll see d6, sometimes you'll see e5, sometimes you won't. There's a couple different setups. There's also many ideas of playing against this weak pawn on c4 with some bishop a6, knight to a5 stuff. It's like a very old school strategic approach. But anyway, there's a lot of ways to play these positions. They're very complex. So knight e2 played by white, knight to c6, castles, and e5, asking white what they want to do with the pawn on d4. Now they probably should keep the tension, because I mean, even though pushing forward just displaces the knight momentarily, it also gives black some squares, namely the e5 square. So maybe white should have just kind of like maneuvered this knight over to the king side with knight g3 or something, and then just kept the tension and see how black's gonna try to grab on d4 if they are. So anyway, d5 was played, knight to e7, e4. If e4 is not played here, then in some cases, you know, maybe white has to be careful about black playing the move e4 and then bringing the knight in. So e4 is consistent with what white was doing, even though it gives up the f4 square. Now white plays f4, trying to go for a really early attack. But the downside to this move is that after the exchange of pawns on f4, while white will activate a piece to the f4 square, the problem is that now e5 is going to be vacant, as we saw earlier. So now this is a nice outpost forever for a black knight. And in some positions, the knight on f4 can be very dangerous because, you know, imagine there's no pawn right on f7, then like knight e6 would be a huge threat, but in this particular structure, this knight doesn't have any really further aggressive squares to go to, so it's actually not that big of a deal for black. But knight e5 is actually a very good move. h3, castles, queen e2, bishop d7. Black's just completing their development now that they have an excellent outpost for their knight, and it's not clear strategically what white's going to be doing, because they've already opened the f-file, but there's not really anything coming from that. So it's already very dangerous, I would say, strategically for white, because they don't have much to do. Here, queen e7. By the way, the tactical theme was also possible, I believe, even at this moment, because of the last move. But in any case, the position we began with was this one, after bishop f2, and it's now again black to play and win. So if you find either of the two winning moves here for black, again, post them on chessuniversity.com at the link we're going to leave below, and if you put your answer up there within 24 hours of this video going live, you can get rewards points towards future purchases on the website. So appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow.